All right, so I remember growing up as a kid, Boulder, Colorado was always a super cool spot to go. There was always tons of activities that we could always do there. They had the college town there. It was always a great vibe, right? But I'm curious, you watching this video right now, what is your perception of Boulder? What have you heard? If you live outside of Colorado, what comes to mind when you think of Boulder, Colorado? Go ahead and leave me some comments below, kind of let me know what your thoughts are when you hear Boulder, Colorado. But here we go. We're going to dive into the cost of living in Boulder, Colorado. Let's go. Hey, welcome back to the channel, you guys. You're watching Living in Denver with your Colorado real estate family, Pete, just riding solo today. So here we go. If you could do me a quick favor, if you love these videos, if it provides a ton of content and value for you, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. We are putting out videos twice a week, and we want you to be notified as soon as one comes out. So let's go ahead and check out Boulder from the sky's view, and we'll be right back. All right, real quick, so before we dive in, I'm going to go over how we approach these cost of living videos. And it's a little different because, like I said, typically I have Chelsea next to my side, kind of we could have the conversational thing, but since I'm riding solo, I'm going to try and give to you as best as I can. So what we do is we approach our videos on a national level, using bestplaces.com or net, one of the two. And what we do is we use a point system where 100 is your national average, and we compare if it's higher, then it's more expensive than your national average. If it's lower, then it's lower than your national average. So that's really how we like to approach our videos. And of course, what we'd like to do is we like to dive in a little bit deeper on each one of those. For instance, housing, I could just throw a number at you and we're like, hey, but Pete, what the hell? What's it cost to buy a house in Boulder, Colorado, right? So we're gonna dive in a little bit deeper on that stuff too. First things first, like I said, let's go ahead and look at Boulder as a whole. Got your national average right here. Boulder is definitely on top of that. It's 167.4. And so it is higher than your national average. I'm gonna tell you right now that Colorado is a 121.4. It's higher than Colorado. Boulder is expensive compared to the rest of Colorado. And I don't know how many of you have experienced Boulder, how many of you have been to Boulder. It is definitely a unique spot for sure. The people there, it's a different culture, and it's a great culture if it's something that you kind of roll into and you fit into, right? I'm not gonna say that there's a best culture for this person or that person. Boulder has just definitely always been over here, where the rest of Colorado's kind of been over here. And so Boulder's a great spot for sure, but like I said, it is definitely more expensive on that level of cost of living. And the first thing that we're really gonna kind of get detailed in is your groceries. Your groceries is 106.4. So this I can kind of speak to a little bit. If you check out our cost of living in Thornton video, I kind of talked about this, how groceries seems a little redundant to me, right? It always seems like it's right around hovering a little bit above or below your national average. And so Thornton was a little bit below, Boulder is a little bit higher, and I think there's a reason for this. I'm gonna kind of dig into this, why I think that groceries might be a little bit more expensive in Boulder, and it's because their grocery stores are your Whole Foods, your natural grocers. You're really getting away from like the Walmarts and such when you're buying your groceries in Boulder, Colorado, and I think that has a lot to do with why groceries is a little bit more expensive than your national average at that 106.4. So something to really keep in mind, if you're gonna be in Boulder, Colorado, you're really not going to have that Walmart to hop down the street to. And so that might be great for you. You might be one of those people out there who like to shop at the Whole Foods, who like to shop at the natural groceries and such. But like I said, just something to really kind of keep in mind. So let's go ahead and dive in the next thing. Usually this is Chelsea's, she's a registered nurse, and this is usually her forte for sure. But it's health. What is health like in Boulder, Colorado? And this one is actually really good for you guys. It's a 94.2. What is incorporated in the health? Well, I'll tell you right now, it's your doctor visits, it's your dental visit, it's your ER visits. It's all those things kind of incorporated into one. In Colorado, if you haven't followed us in all of our other cost of living videos, it's typically always below your national average. I'm going to tell you right now that like Colorado has some great healthcare in the United States. We have some great healthcare for cheap, and that's something amazing. Personally, like our kids, they used to go to Boulder when we had the peds clinic over there. We moved a little bit further, and so we decided to move them, but it was a great clinic. They were really concerned about the kids. It seemed like there was an extra level of care towards our kids as opposed to some other places that we kind of experienced. So I will say that, with that lower cost of healthcare, us personally as a family, especially like say when we're looking at the cost of our kids' healthcare, it's good to know. All right, so here's one of the most important ones to me that I think personally you guys are going to want to know about, and that is housing. Right? Of course, I'm a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Colorado, helping you guys purchase your homes. So I need to know those numbers. What is it going to cost for you to live in Boulder, Colorado if you decide to buy a house? Now this one blows everything else that we've covered out of the water. So national level, right? You ready for this? You've got your national average 100 right here. Boulder is a 319.4. It is up there, guys. It is expensive for sure in regards to comparing it to the rest of Colorado. It's expensive, and it's just, all right. So you guys ready for the median price point in Boulder? We're talking from July 2020 to July 2021. You're looking at $880,000 median price point. And like I said, I always cover attached and detached. So we're talking our single family homes, our condos, and our townhouses. That's as a whole, median price point of $880,000. So like I said, say we're comparing this to LA or California. It's like, all right, cool. That might even be a little bit lower than those cities of that state. But it's in comparison to Colorado, that is a high price point. But there's a reason for that. There's a culture. There's a different scene in Boulder that people want to be a part of, and people will pay for it. There's even some celebrities who've strictly lived in Boulder just so they could experience Boulder, be in Boulder. It's a great vibe there, guys. I'm gonna tell you, like, kind of going off sidetrack a little bit. Boulder is a very active city, super active, so much so that it's one of the healthiest cities in the United States. You're always seeing people running, hiking, biking, going down the creeks, the kayaking. Boulder is just super active. Camping, we love going up there ourselves. Actually, one of our favorite camping spots up there at Gross Reservoir, just super awesome spot. And you got views for days, guys. If you decide that you want to be active in the city of Boulder, you will not see anything more beautiful. The mountains are just right there. You got the flat irons, you got all the hiking trails, and it is just second to none. It is amazing in regards to views there. So like I said, housing, yes, it is expensive, but Boulder is it's one of those places that's known nationwide that people want to be. All right, so the next thing that we're really going to dive into is what are your utilities going to cost in Boulder, Colorado? And so this one's actually, it's quite a bit lower than your national average. You're looking at it at 92.5. What is your utilities? We're talking about electricity, any of your gases, or whatever it might be that you need in order to run your house. And Boulder, since you do have some of those houses that are up in the mountains, they're ran on propane. So yeah, you have the electricity, and the ones that are more in the city of Boulder are going to be on natural gas. But those ones that are higher up in the mountains, they're running on propane tanks. And so is propane cheaper than natural gas? Is it, a lot, is that bringing that cost of utilities down? That's the biggest thing to really kind of consider into that price point or into that national average. Why is it so much lower than your national average? Especially when we're looking at the fact that Boulder is so expensive in a lot of other areas. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the next one, which is transportation. Transportation is a 95.2. Again, guys, way, or I wouldn't say way lower. I'd say lower than your national average. You got 100, and it's right down there a little bit. What is transportation? What are we taking into consideration when we're talking about that? What we're talking about your car insurance, maintenance. Let's say just washing the car. Anything that is maintaining your vehicle. Also, let's kind of go on the other side of that. Public transportation, right? What we're looking at for your bus fares. Light rail station is going to be going up there, so you need to worry about those things. Kind of think about that. Is a little bit lower than your national average, which is awesome considering the fact that you're going to be paying a pretty penny in regards to the housing living in Boulder, Colorado. All right, and then last but not least, we're going to really dive into the miscellaneous. What is the miscellaneous cost of living in Boulder, Colorado, which we're talking about restaurants, your clothing, maybe those extra expenses about living in Boulder, Colorado, and you're right around 108.1. So it's a little bit higher than your national average. Not bad. They definitely have like a lot of boutique spots out there. So, you know, if you want to go shopping for your clothes and such, you might be spending a little bit more on your clothes. But overall, it's not that bad. Here's the biggest thing to kind of really take into consideration. Boulder, when it comes to the expenses and how much more expensive it is, majority of that is going to be your housing. The housing in Boulder is insane, and it's because it's such a desirable spot to live. And so that's something to really kind of take into consideration. But at the same time, it's like, hey, the rest of the expenses are pretty on par with national average, which is a good thing, considering the fact that Colorado as a whole is usually higher than the rest of the national average. For the most part, that covers your cost of living in Boulder, Colorado. I'm going to throw a bonus in there for her. So we're going to check out your sales tax. When you're buying items in the city of Boulder, what are you going to be paying extra tax on top of those items? And you're looking at 8.8%. 2.9% of that goes to the state of Colorado. It's not bad, right? I'd say the rule of thumb in Colorado is if you're below 9%, you're pretty average in regards to the sales tax in the state of Colorado. So just plan on, like I said, when you're purchasing those items in Colorado, that extra, we'll just call it 9% that you're gonna be paying on top of the items that you're purchasing, and, you know, in the stores, your boutique spots and all that. So, all right, cool guys. Well, I made this video short, sweet, and to the point today. I just want to tell you right now that how grateful we are. We are receiving those phone calls from you. We're receiving those requests for videos. We're going to be doing them next week. I'm super excited about someone requested. If you want us to do a video on somewhere that you're kind of thinking about moving in Colorado that we haven't done already, please go check out our channel to see if it's in there. Let us know. Comment below. Let us know what we can do to kind of bring you value when you're moving to the state of Colorado. But until next time, we love you. Bye.